We're coming to you live from the Built Ford Top Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are on the free Odyssey app, good Thursday morning. Getting closer and closer to Christmas and a long weekend and a couple of days off. It is felt like a very quick week after Boomer and Gio live on Friday. I can't believe tomorrow is going to be the 1 week anniversary of Boomer and Gio Live. It has flown by. This entire year feels like it has flown by. And then we turn the page to 2024, and what the hell are we going to get then as our predictions for 2023 with the sports teams around here not so good. Yeah, lots of stuff going on yesterday, but weird things. Not big things, weird things. Like Fat Perez responding to us and Angel Cabrera wanting to go back to the Masters, and the Jeffrey Epstein list is going to be released. All those things were going on. And then I get a text message last night. You and your crazy rogue texting is now infiltrating my life.
Okay.
As I get a text from Wally Zerbiak for me to tell you to stop texting him because he won't listen to him. Like, Wally's telling you to stop, and you wouldn't listen to Wally, so he goes, can you tell Boomer to stop texting me? This is getting out of control during Knicks Nets last night. So this was a nutso day yesterday. We're going to have some fun this morning, and then we got a feel-good football Friday tomorrow to wrap the whole thing up. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
I feel worse today than I did yesterday. But
sickness?
I feel like I'm like at the zenith of it right now. Waking up in the middle of the night with the sweats and everything else.
Oh, God.
So, I get up this morning, I do my AG1, got all that stuff going on, do my Zycam, keeps colds down.
Yeah.
I got my throat coat going on and my Eric LeGrand coffee cup.
Yeah, I have a tough time with throat coat these days. After I hear that, my mind just goes into weird places.
I don't know, but okay. Anyway, throat coat's great.
Yeah.
And then I found these Buckley pastels. You got to try one of these.
Oh, I don't need it, though.
I want you to try it.
Okay.
Because I swear to God, they're interesting taste to it, but they have like a Vicks effect on you.
Vicks effect.
You know how you put the Vicks on your chest?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, and by the way, I do have my Mucinex that I did finally take at 3:15 this morning.
Wow. You're really struggling, huh?
Yeah, but now, the Mucinex
wow.
dried me up.
This is like hardcore.
I'm telling you.
And the second I put it in my mouth, it's like a...
One of the guys at CBS told me about this company, and I'm like, I'd never heard of it before. Oof. And how about that?
It just like cleared out my sinuses the second I stuck it in my mouth.
I felt like I was eating like a jar of Vicks.
Wow.
But it works.
Holy hell. I got to get me some of these Buckleys if I get sick next time.
That's right. They work, man.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
That is intense.
So I'm all loaded up to go today for 4 hours of fun here on Boomer and Gio. And we got a Thursday night game tonight that looks like it's going to be an interesting game tonight. New Orleans at the Rams.
Yeah, which I'm definitely into. These teams aren't going to go very far in the NFC postseason if they both make it. But of all the crappy Thursday night games we have gotten this year, this one is a little bit better. Let me see the back of that Buckley's thing. Let me see what the hell they put in this thing.
Okay.
I don't want to see, gosh. All right.
Things
here we
are
go.
good, man. I'm telling you.
They are good. I don't even see. It doesn't even show you.
Maybe they don't even tell you what's in them just because you don't want to know what's in them. I don't know.
No, here we go. Oh, wow. Oof.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh.
Got any seed oils in there?
You know what's in here?
Can you even pronounce what's in there?
Not a lot of it. Pine needle oil. Have you ever heard of that?
Put that in your Bobby knows whatever that crap thing
pine
you
needle
got.
oil. I didn't even know pine needles you could get oil out of a pine needle. Eucalyptol.
Yeah, there's eucalyptical. That's the thing that could clears you up.
Maltitol. Canadian balsam. Capsicum. It's all in there.
It's all in there.
Whatever it's doing, it's working.
It does work, right?
Yeah. But so you're sick last night.
Yeah.
You said your fever's breaking. You're sitting there watching Knicks Nets. And
Maybe that's why I was sick.
You just
the
can't.
Nets stink.
Well, last night
they did.
Last night they did. They've actually played relatively well. And Mikal Bridges is tremendous.
He's a great player. And so is Cam Thomas for that matter.
Right.
But I will say that the last 5 minutes of that game, and really the last 5 minutes did not matter in this game. Nobody could hit a bucket. Nobody. Yeah. It was, and I know Julius Randle had a great night last night, and of course Jalen Brunson had a great night last night, and quickly got called for a flop, which I didn't even know was a thing in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exaggerations.
And then Wally's like going crazy about the flop call and everything. And I'm like, will you stop? That was a flop. He flopped.
Well, Wally wanted to have the Knicks back in that spot. That's what he's doing.
You shill.
That was one of the things you were texting him. Shill. You said,
I didn't
Boomer's
say that.
calling me a shill. Boomer's all over me. Can you are you with Boomer? Can you take his phone away from him?
You know what? I found what I found most interesting at that point in the game is when Breen and Wally were talking about Capstraw.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the history of Capstraw and how he's been so impactful in Long Island. And I wanted to hear more of that.
Yeah. Remember when Minko called him Tim Crapstraw a couple times when he filled in?
And then
Tim Crapstraw?
Then there was a flop. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And then I said, I miss Kyrie.
Yeah. I mean, the Nets were a little bit more interesting with those guys around, but I certainly don't miss them. And the big Knicks news, obviously, outside of the game, is that this Mitchell Robinson injury that we thought he was going to be out 8 to 10 weeks is now a season-ending injury.
What did I say last week that the Knicks needed to do?
Well, they needed to go out and trade for a big man.
Somewhere along the line. I mean, Hartenstein can't do it by himself.
Stein.
I call him Steen.
Well, he calls himself Stein.
And then I'll call him Stein.
Yeah, Hartenstein
can't just do it by himself. Although the more you see of him, the more you like him.
Yeah, but when you
kill that kid if he's a guy that's got to have limited minutes, or he looks like he's an injury waiting to happen.
Right, and when guys like that play longer, they tend to get exposed. He needs to be an energy guy off the bench, do what he is supposed to do for this roster, and not be out there as long as he's been out there. So they're going to have to make a move. This is going to be a Leon Rose situation. He's got to figure this out. He's got to figure it out way before the trade deadline so this team doesn't fall apart, because Mitchell Robinson plays such a key role. Now, this is one of those things, you know how you always get surgery was successful?
Yes.
You always hear that. Surgery was successful. Surgery went great. So they went in, did the ankle surgery. He was supposed to be out 8 to 10 weeks. They do the surgery. Now they say he's out for the year. Unsuccessful surgery? For the first time ever, do we have an unsuccessful surgery?
All right, so here's the thing. These surgeries on ankles. Now, I don't know what kind of surgery this was. Was this one of these Arthrex surgeries?
Oh, speed bridge.
Well, it's not a speed bridge, but they do if you have the high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
I think they call it I got to look at it.
Oh, that's right. They call
it something like a tie or something.
High tie?
Something like that. And I think it may be from the same company. Now, normally they would do this on offensive linemen in football, and they think offensive linemen come back faster because while they do use their feet, of course. Tightrope. That's
tightrope surgery. Didn't
surgery.
Tua get the tightrope surgery in college?
So who does the tightrope surgery? Where did it come from? Speed bridge, tightrope, all sounds like the same thing to me.
Does it?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure exactly where the tightrope comes from.
All right, but anyway, so I don't know if that's what Mitchell had. I don't know if he had a broken bone in there. I don't know if they had to go in there and it was worse than they initially thought it was.
Yeah.
And we're talking about almost a 7-footer.
Yes.
I mean, and you can imagine the size of his foot. The size of the foot is probably about the size of this
keyboard.
Keyboard. Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't know what it is. It may be. I don't know what it is this morning. This morning is going to be interesting.
All right. So, how about this?
Yep.
Tightrope was invented by Dr. Brian Thorns, an Irish surgeon who brought the product to Arthrex.
Mm-hmm. There we go. There we go, man.
So there you go. Arthrex is all over this.
I'm telling you, they have about 30% of the sports medicine world right now. Not all the doctors are in it. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. These are, relatively new surgeries.
Yeah.
Some, I think some have been successful for sure. But these are new ways of doing things. And, it's hard to convince, say, a doctor who has worked on, I don't know, let's say 500 ankles, Achilles, whatever your situation may be.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to comprehend doing something new because they've done it so long for, a certain way for so long.
Right. Yeah, so this is terrible news for the Knicks. It is frustrating for them. And this is a key player who's now out for the season. I would love to know what happened. I mean, did they get in there and find out it was worse than it was? Did something get screwed up? Was the original timeline something that was way too aggressive?
Now,
whatever it is, he's gone.
Was he getting tightrope surgery?
That I don't
know.
know. I don't know.
So because what could happen? Like I said, they could have gone in there and they could have seen, particles of bone. They could have seen, a hairline fracture. They could have seen a torn ligament. They could have seen anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the information.
But we now know that he is out for the rest of the season.
That's
and
it.
It's unfortunate because Mitchell Robinson tends to get hurt quite a bit.
Well, he had this at HSS, of course. You got contacts over there, don't you?
Yeah, but they're not going to give me medical information.
Sure they
I
will. You're Boomer.
Medical.
Yeah, I want to know. Let's break those HIPAA laws so we can get
we're not
the right
breaking any
information.
HIPAA
All we
laws.
want is the right information.
I was just wondering if he was having tightrope surgery and they went in and saw something more than what the tightrope surgery takes care of. That kind of thing. That's what I was thinking.
They should take one of these Buckley's cough drops and just rub it on the ankle. I think they'll miraculously just fix it just like that.
It's amazing. Those things are like ridiculous.
I know. Now I feel like I'm going to be addicted to these things. Like I'm just going to take one every day just for the hell of it to clear out my nose, even though when I don't need it cleared out. People get addicted to Afrin.
Yes, I know that. We've had this discussion on here many a time.
I think Maggie's addicted to Afrin. Maggie Gray. That's what I think we had this conversation.
You think she is?
Yeah, I think I've talked to her about this.
Okay. Now, I know we have discussed it quite a bit on this show over the years, and I was an Afrin user. I've tried to stay away from it.
Yeah.
And this Mucinex product that I'm taking now is great. It's great.
And you don't get hooked.
Now. You can hear me now.
Yeah, you sound a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, at 3:15 in the morning, sweating and.
Well, you broke your fever. You must have had a fever.
All sorts of bugs coming. It was like a onrush. And why does it always happen in the middle of the night? I've never really understood that.
Well, you break the fever?
Well, it's the fever and everything comes running out of your nose, and it's like, I'm in the middle of a nice sleep.
I think your body's
won. Everything's good. I'm tormenting Wally and Breen, and I'm feeling good about things. And then at 3:15, it hit me.
Yeah, I mean, I think because your body's working overdrive at that point. It's like, listen, we're not going to do this to you when you're working, and we know that you're resting now, so let's just pump it all out of you now. Your body knows. You got a body clock.
Yeah, I may have a little bit of a fever.
Of course you do. If you broke it, you're sweating in the middle of the night, you definitely have a fever. So far, so good for me. I have not gotten anything else from you guys, but it's probably going to be a 2-day thing. And it'll probably hit me right about Christmas Eve. That's when I'll start. And then I'm going to have to just drink Casamigos to pretend that I don't have it. I mean, I feel like that's the best cure for like a sickness is just drinking alcohol, because then you forget about it. You don't think about it anymore, you know?
That's
what happens. You just sit around and be like, oh, man, I got a cold. This sucks. I feel sorry for myself. It's Christmas Eve. I don't want to be sick. And then all of a sudden, a couple of reposados down the gullet, and I'm feeling fine.
I will say that what does help, it's what seems to help in the afternoon. And, we used to have a sponsor here with us, Bushmills.
Yeah.
And they made a product called Bushmills Irish Honey. And had a little honey in it.
Yeah.
And you put that in the throat coat, and the afternoons kind of float on by.
That's a hot toddy.
That's a hot toddy. And I'll tell you what, Daddy was a hot toddy yesterday.
Is that what you drank?
I had to have one of them because my throat was killing me.
Yeah, it works great. You get a little whiskey and tea.
Yeah, but it's the Irish honey that makes the tea.
The honey.
Oh, you don't even really taste it.
Yeah.
And then as you're drinking it, it's going down your throat. It's like coating your throat.
See, this is why now it's all making sense.
Yeah.
This is why you were badgering Breen and Wally. You had a couple too many hot toddies.
Yeah.
Watching the game.
That may have been the case.
Coating your throat. And all of a sudden.
But the boys are throwing up bricks, and I'm like, what are we doing here, guys?
What are we doing here?
Keep talking about Tim Capstraw.
Yeah, Tim Capstraw. But, I mean, at least they won the game last night. But this. And a Capstraw?
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. And I remember he did that once, Minko, as he filled in. And a Tim Crapstraw. And then, like, the next time he did it, I'm like, oh, man, I wonder if he's going to say Crapstraw again. There's no way he's going to do it. And, like, the next game, he came back again. He's like, alongside Tim Crapstraw. Capstraw. That's a Capstraw, not a Crapstraw.
All right.
It was in his head. Just stuck in his head.
And by the way, there was this whole thing with Fat Perez.
Oh, God, it's great.
Now,
Jerry's got some of the audio.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Because I had no idea who he was until you brought him to us and to our audience.
Yeah.
And then I was responding in real time as to what he refers to himself as.
Yeah.
And I think you should invite him and one of his buddies, and we'll go out and play Atlantic one day this coming summer.
That would be awesome. I'm sure they'd be in for that, and I'm sure that they would film it and put it up on their YouTube channel, which would be great, and then we'd talk about it here. It'd be mutually beneficial.
Yeah,
but
listen, the guy that calls himself Fat Perez cannot be upset when somebody else is agreeing that he is fat.
Yeah.
And by the way, he reminded me of like when Zoo was really fat.
He does. He has that type of look. And he did take his shirt off in one of these videos. So if you don't know what we're talking about, we'll explain it a little bit more later. But as I got into this YouTube golf world, that's all I watch now. Like no TV shows. I just watch these guys do their thing. This guy, Fat Perez, came across, and I'm now watching him probably 4 times a week play golf, and he's funny and he's good. I bring him to Boomer. Boomer sees a picture of him, goes, oh, my God, he's huge. That gets back to Fat Perez. Fat Perez doesn't feel good about himself because of this, and all his buddies are laughing about how he made it to here. Boomer is commenting on Fat Perez. It's like as the guy Bob who runs that channel said, it's like they're living in a simulation. So they've had a lot of fun with that. So that'd be great.
He kind of reminds me of like John Daly a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll have a few cocktails. I'll eat whatever I'm going to eat. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to shoot like a 70 or 69 or 68. And
right.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
I eat, I drink, I play golf.
And that's why everybody loves the guy. That's why he's just your every man. He's awesome. But they were laughing their asses off about us talking about it. And he was happy. He's mad at you.
Why is he mad at me?
Well, because you said, oh, my God, he's huge. That didn't sit well for him.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? What the hell am I supposed to do?
I mean,
the guy calls himself Fat Perez, so I want to say, okay, you are fat.
He's like, shout out Gio. He's been watching. He's into the video, so we appreciate that, man. Really appreciate the support. But I mean, Boomer, oh my God, you killed me. You banged me, is what he said.
I know. Number one, I don't agreeing with everything that he is saying about himself. How is that banging somebody?
I don't know. It's just the way that he came across. I did hear the origin of the story is like he doesn't actually like the nickname. He just used it to get attention in the beginning for people to pay.
All right, so now we got attention, and now he's a Fat Perez guy, and now all of a sudden we become Mr. Sensitive?
Yeah.
Is this what he is now? He's like a we hurt his feelings kind of guy?
I don't know, man. You know these guys that come from the world where nobody's paying attention to them, everybody's paying attention to him.
How old is the guy?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
All right.
I don't even know if that's something I can Google. Like, does Google know how?
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah. Fat Perez age. It says 45 here.
All right.
So I don't know. His real name is Nick Stubb. I don't know if he's actually 45 or that's just a lie here. Whatever. But
I'm just glad he doesn't go by Nick Stubb. And he goes by Fat Perez.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of those guys. Though. They are awesome.
Well, obviously, we are fans.
Yeah, I'd love to play with them. That'd be very cool. All right, it is Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.